MNFM 82968B North Las Vegas and KSHP.com.
Rebel Nation, get ready. The 2024-25 UNLV Rebels football season is here. KSHP is your home for running Rebel football tickets. Take note of this exciting lineup. Saturday, September 7th, versus Utah Tech, Las Vegas Heroes Day, and the 1974 team 50th anniversary. Saturday, September 28th, versus Fresno State, Hispanic Heritage Day, and the 1994 team 30th anniversary. Friday, October 4th, versus Syracuse, Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Friday, October 25th, versus Boise State, Nevada.
Which is pushinglimits.live, at PTL Radio Show on YouTube, on X, and of course the FMAM dial KSHP right here in Las Vegas. Thank you so much for joining us. Man, do we have a jam-packed show lined up for you today. You know, I grew up with watching these guys on the tube with their movies and shows, and of course Jeremy and Jason London from Dazed and Confused, Mallrats, Party of Five, Seventh Heaven. They're going to be joining us both at the bottom of the hour. They are staunch Kamala Harris supporters, and they're going to be talking to us on why this election is personal to them. So they're both going to be joining us at the bottom of the hour. That is certainly going to be a lot of fun. Boy, I got a lot of interesting messages and emails from the Trump surrogate that I had on the show yesterday. If you missed it, check out my YouTube page. That's the best place really to catch everything, at PTL Radio Show. I have to start off with this. We have a lot to get to today, right? So Donald Trump is doing a town hall on Fox News. And this audio has surfaced before the actual town hall started, where the host of the show, Faulkner, is mentioning that Amber Thurman, she is the woman who tragically died because of Georgia's abortion ban laws. It's a horrible story, and my thought goes out to her family. And I want you to listen to this audio and how Donald Trump responds to Faulkner stating that Amber Thurman's family is doing kind of their own rebuttal of the town hall as it's going on. Have a listen to this.
Amber Thurman's family have come out on a press call, and they're doing what's called a pre-buttal to our town hall right now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and I want to
Get better ratings, I promise.
Amber.
So here is a woman who tragically lost her life. And regardless of whether you agree or not with the abortion ban, which I think is outrageous, and this woman would still be alive today if not for that abortion ban, which, by the way, Donald Trump helped to overturn Roe versus Wade, which got to that point. Instead of any normal, decent human being, which we know Donald Trump is not, A normal person would say, gosh, that's horrible. You know, I feel for her family. No family should ever have to go through something like this. I feel for them. It's a horrible tragedy. At a minimum, that's what any decent human being would say. What's the first thing that enters this sick, liable rapist felon's mind? Let's mock the family and let's talk about how my ratings are going to be better than their ratings, as if Amber Thurman's family care about ratings. They lost their daughter. She's dead. I'm so sick of this guy. I'm so sick of this guy mocking people and mocking a family who've lost their daughter. Does it get any more and I got to tell you something. Those morons in the crowd, those deplorable pieces of human garbage that were in the crowd, my understanding, mostly women, if not all women in the crowd, laughing at this joke. It's a woman who lost her life, regardless of what your opinion is on abortion. She lost her life. And I can't even say what I want to say right now. We have FCC regulations. These horrific human beings in the crowd. We all know who Donald Trump is. We expect this from him. These women in the crowd that are laughing, they think this joke is funny. He makes a joke about ratings. When the topic is a woman who lost her life because of the abortion laws and the restrictions in Georgia, she leaves behind a 7-year-old son. And these idiots in the crowd are laughing. I'm telling you, all those people in the crowd that are laughing, please ship them to Russia. Deport them. You want to deport people? Deport those idiots that think it's funny that a woman died and lost her life. Deport them. Or as Donald Trump would say, get them the hell out. All those people in the studio, they should all get the hell out. Get out of this country. You're all disgusting. How you can laugh at something like that. Drives me nuts. I'm sorry for the Thurman family and everything that they've had to go through. They shouldn't have to be going through this. Their daughter, their sister, she should still be alive today, if not for Donald Trump and those Supreme Court justice bastards that overturned Roe versus Wade. And while all this stuff is going on, and Donald Trump is mocking the family who lost a loved one, he's starting up his next scam. Oh, yeah, that's right. Donald Trump's swindling scam on crypto. He's put this video out yesterday. Have a listen to this.
Big news. The World Liberty Financial Token Sale is now live. Crypto is the future. Let's embrace this incredible technology and lead the world in digital economy. Go to worldlibertyfinancial.com.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Just like I'm going to be buying your stupid trading cards, your obese trading cards, and your Bibles, and your, Donald Trump knee pads that seems like everyone seems to be wearing. Oh, yeah, let's not forget about the sneakers, the gold sneakers, as my producer just reminded me. Can't forget about those $500 gold sneakers that cost about $8 to make in China. And Trump was interviewed yesterday. And it's interesting how these Trumpers come up with these stories, including Donald Trump. Oh, well, this guy came up to me and he started crying. Laura Trump, on an airplane, people send me their napkins and notes on the other side that say, I'm voting for Donald Trump. But it's funny how we never see any of these videos, right? We never have any evidence that this happened. But apparently it's happening. I guess I'll just go on the air today and say women come up to me crying and taking their bras off. No, it doesn't happen. I'm lying. But I guess I could just say it. It's a nice dream to have, but, well, depending on who it is. I wouldn't want Donald Trump to take off his bra and throw it at me. There's no question about that. But anyway, I digress. Donald Trump is now telling another lie, claiming that a guy came up to him, started crying about tariffs and how tariffs saved his business. Listen to this.
I put a 25% tariff still on kitchen cabinets. I saw the guy 3 days ago. He said, I'm the man that saw you about kitchen cabinets. You saved my company when you did the tariff, and you saved thousands of jobs. And my company is now doing very well. And he started to cry. And this guy hasn't cried too much, I will tell you. He said, you saved my company. There's nobody that could have done that.
Maybe I can ask.
Yeah, there's nobody that could have done that. I'm sure that story is true. Just like Laura Trump's story about how, people are sending her napkins on airplanes telling them how much they're supporting Donald Trump. I'm sure that's happening as well. Then he's asked about peaceful transfer of power. Have a listen to this, because we all know there was no peaceful transfer of power. But listen to this exchange.
Maybe I can ask you, Ben, about something else. Yeah. Business people here in this room, business people, capital markets, they all like the rule of law. They like certainty. The Chinese, who you mentioned, other dictators.
Right.
They don't like it when things go wrong. They like it when things go wrong in America. If you look at the events of January the 6th, 2021, it showed to many people America's democracy was unruly and violent. Only 3 weeks to go to the election. Will you commit now to respecting and encouraging a peaceful transfer of power?
Well, you had a peaceful transfer of power.
You had a peaceful transfer of power. You had a peaceful. Come on, President Trump. You had a peaceful transfer of power compared with Venezuela, but it was by far the worst transfer of power for a long time.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because this is what they like to do. This is what they like to do. It's very interesting.
Question, President Trump, is would you respect the decision?
When I found out about this interview, I did a little check. He's a man that has not been a big Trump fan over the years. So I had a choice. Do I do this interview or not? I'm glad I did it. But do I do this interview or do I disappoint a lot of people? Because I know a lot of people in the audience. But his view is very different than mine. Let me just say.
I'm asking you.
He won't answer the question. He starts attacking the person. By the way, very important question that he asked. If, in fact, you lose, will you respect the outcome of the election? And by the way, January 6th wasn't peaceful transfer of power. He still lies about the 2020 election today. People died. 140 officers were injured. That was not peaceful transfer of power. Notice how Trump won't answer the question, and he plays the little bitch victim that he is. And this is a really, because the day before, he holds this other town hall where he answers like only several questions, and then he starts dancing around, they're playing music for 30 minutes. I mean, I don't know. He starts doing what would you even call that? The masturbation dance? I don't even know what it is. He starts doing that weird dance with both of his hands. And this was the point where he did actually answer a few questions. And then he tells his voters to vote January 5th. This is something where I actually agree with Donald Trump. I hope all those voters wait till January 5th to vote. Have a listen to this.
It will be, I'll tell you, if everything works out, if everybody gets out and votes on January 5th or before,
I agree. Listen, this is a message to all of the Trump voters out there. If you want to vote a little before January 5th, you can vote late December, right before Christmas. That's totally acceptable. Please wait until then. I agree with Donald Trump. We agree on this. If you're planning on supporting Donald Trump, please wait until January 5th to vote for him, and even take his advice. If you want to vote like a little bit earlier, like maybe in December, please. Yeah, exactly. You can vote January 4th. But I'm just saying, even if it's like late December, that's acceptable too. You can vote in December. Please take Donald Trump's advice there, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe I'm saying that. Then he goes back to his Hannibal Lecter stuff. He can't leave this Hannibal Lecter. This man is not well. Have a listen to this.
pay the price. They're going to, and it's a very bad thing that's happening. So they're coming in, many are coming in from jails and prisons and mental institutions, insane asylums. That's like, a step above, right? A insane asylum. And whenever I go, Hannibal Lecter, you know what I'm talking about. They always go the fake news. That's a lot of fake news back there, too. But they always mention, it's a way of demeaning. They just say, Hannibal Lecter, why would he mention? Well, you know why? Because he was a sick puppy, and we have sick puppies coming into our country. I figure that's better than wasting a lot of words. You just say Hannibal Lecter. We don't want to, but they always sort of say, why would he say that? I do it for a lot of reasons, but I do it because we are allowing some very bad people into our country.
So you bring up Hannibal Lecter every time you speak because we're bringing in some terrible people into our country. He talks about Hannibal Lecter every speech. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is talking about the economy, talking about the future, talking about abortion, talking about guns, talking about all the major issues that I would like to think that most Americans care about. Meanwhile, Donald Trump continues to play the victim, continues to be the little bitch that he is on this, the little bitch tours, by the way, what they should call his tour. Playing the hard victim, the billionaire, playing the victim, talking about Hannibal Lecter, attacking migrants, not answering questions directly. And speaking of sick puppies, what about the puppy murderer herself? Yes, Christi Noem. She's quoting John Wayne. She makes some statements about Kamala Harris. She was, by the way, on the stage with Donald Trump at this town hall. The sick puppy herself, the one that murders dogs, Christi Noem, ladies and gentlemen.
Sir, I have a quote that I like a lot by John Wayne. It says, life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid.
Yeah.
I think that perfectly explains Kamala Harris, right? Right, sir? Now, our life has been hard because of her, but can you imagine what it's like to wake up as Kamala Harris? How hard life must be?
Yeah, well, there you go. The puppy murderer herself calling Kamala Harris stupid. Well, what is it like for Kamala Harris to wake up in the morning? I don't know what it's like to be Kamala Harris, but I could just wager a guess. She wakes up to her loving husband. She wakes up with a smile, probably, unlike Donald Trump, who sleeps alone, in my understanding, if he's not paying for sex. He wakes up by himself every day for the last 19 years since they conceived Barron. By the way, that might have been artificial insemination. I really don't know. I can't confirm that, allegedly. That would be a right-wing conspiracy theory. But the sick puppy, Noem, again, the attacks on the far right calling Kamala stupid, with nothing to back that up. It's outrageous. It's ridiculous. And then Donald Trump wrapped up his really weird town hall in Pennsylvania. As I mentioned, he only took a few questions. And then right after he said he would take a few more questions, more music played, while Trump just stood there on the stage like the dope that he is. It's very strange. Have a listen to this.
Open. That feels good.
It does.
I feel it right now. I don't know who's out there trying to get in, but you know what I feel? Doesn't that feel nice?
Yes.
And you don't even have, there's nothing like outdoors. You don't even have the cost of an air conditioner if they have them in this beautiful factory.
Yeah, because they're
Anyway,
passing
go
out.
ahead, please.
They're passing out at your rally,
Well,
you
sir, do
idiot.
you want to play your song and then greet a few people, or do you want to? Well, you had said you wanted to close with a specific song. or
Okay,
we
let's
can take
do a couple of
two more
mine.
fast questions.
So, Justin, how about a couple of really beauties, and we'll sit down, relax. Let me just give you the bottom line, though. We win Pennsylvania. We win this great Commonwealth. We are going to win the whole ball game. It's such an important place. And we relate. And we are up in the polls fairly nicely. But it's really important. And we're going to turn this country around. It's the greatest movement in the history of our country, MAGA, Make America Great Again. When Biden would go on, he used to go on, say, we will stop MAGA. We will stop, remember with the purple background, the pink.
I mean, the guy is just unhinged. We're going to win North Dakota and South Dakota. Now, I hate to compare Donald Trump to Howard Dean, but in this instance, I'm sorry, Howard, I got to do it.
We're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Michigan.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dean. Sorry.
Michigan, Washington, Michigan, California. South Carolina, South Carolina. Picture here, 1 year ago. You know something? Mexico.
I'm sorry, Howard. I had to do it, man. I'm sorry. I had to do it. I like Howard Dean. I think he's a good guy, but that was kind of an unhinged speech there a little bit, but nothing compared to Donald Trump. But we just had to have a little fun there. I hope you guys understand. So this is interesting because there were people that passed out at this town hall because it was so hot. There was no air conditioning and people were being carted off because Donald Trump doesn't care about his own stupid supporters. Of course he doesn't. And if you don't believe me, just go to Mar-a-Lago and take a look at the people that he surrounds himself with. They're not the people that go to his rallies. These are elitist billionaires that hang out at Mar-a-Lago. He hates his own supporters. So some of those supporters were passing out, just like some of his supporters had to walk 2 hours to go back to their cars at Coachella over the weekend because they were bussed in and then were not bussed out. And allegedly some of these bus drivers were assaulted. I mean, it really is mesmerizing. He doesn't care about his supporters. So some of those people were passing out, We know this. There's video of it. And you have a right-wing media host who's covering the event who literally is saying that some of these people might be protesters and they might be faking these medical emergencies. Folks, I'm not making this stuff up. Have a listen.
Had senior people from our national security apparatus say that there's 15,000 violent felons in the United States. They have no idea where they are. That is what I believe the president is referring to. I don't think that he's referring to elected people in America.
So
I'm
that's
literally reading his quote.
That's the wrong cut. That's cut 10. We're going to go backtrack to cut 9 if we can. So we'll get to Glenn Youngkin in a moment, but let's go back to cut 9 first if we can. So let me set that up for you one more time. My apologies. Right-wing media host. We don't have that cut. Okay, we don't have cut 9. Okay, well, we're going to have to skip cut 9 because I was unaware that we didn't have it. But it was right-wing media host telling the people that are listening to him that there were people passing out at the rally and that there's a possibility that it might have been fake emergencies and that people might have been faking it. Now we can go to cut 10. I don't think we have cut 9. So Glenn Youngkin, let's move on to Glenn Youngkin. So he did an interview with Jake Tapper, and the interview he's doing with Jake Tapper refers to reading of the quotes of where Donald Trump had stated that Trump says he wants to use the military to go after the left. Now, Donald Trump said this. This isn't a made-up quote. This is actually real stuff. And Glenn Youngkin is a Trump apologist, like so many others. And I want you to listen to the lack of an answer, and it reminds me a little bit of the woman that was the Trump surrogate that I had on yesterday. They won't answer the question directly, and or they'll say it was taken out of context. I want you to listen to this exchange.
Had senior people from our national security apparatus say that there's 15,000 violent felons in the United States. They have no idea where they are. That is what I believe the president is referring to. I don't think that he's referring to elected people in America. But I'm
literally reading his quotes. I'm literally reading his quotes to you, and I played them earlier so you could hear that they were not made up by me. He's literally talking about, quote, radical left lunatics, and then one of those lunatics he mentioned was Congressman Adam Schiff. Criminals should be locked up. Migrants who are in this country illegally, who are violent, should be locked up and deported. I grant you all of that, and I am not denying that it's happening at all.
So,
but I'm talking about Donald Trump saying that he wants to use the National Guard and the military to go after the left. That's what he's saying.
I don't believe that's what he's saying. But listen, you and I are going to argue about that. But I would suggest if you would also.
I played the quote and I read it to you.
If you would also
you
balance
can wish that he weren't saying that, but that's what he's saying.
Jake, all the time people are taking little snippets of content and turning it into a big narrative. I think exactly what he's concerned about, because I've heard him express it before, are the number of national security risks, violent criminals, and folks who are coming into this country where we don't know where they are, that are committing crimes and put people's safety at risk. And I do think that on the same balance, I think you should cover the fact that over the course of the last 3.5 years, there has been an unprecedented and unrestrained flow across our border, and it has put Americans' lives and so much of our livelihood at jeopardy. And I think that's a very important, clear reality that we have to face. You know, one of the things that's happened in Virginia is that on Friday, the Justice Department sued Virginia for simply doing a very basic constitutionally.
Let me ask you about that.
Constitutionally authorized step, which is to make sure that non-citizens aren't on our voter roll.
Yeah, let me ask you about that, because I want to bring, because people might not be aware of it, so I want to give it. But before I do that, I just want to note, I was just reading you his quotes, and he was not talking about dangerous migrants in those quotes. Later, there were other quotes about those migrants, and he was saying that people shouldn't even, children shouldn't even be sending their kids to school with the kids of migrants. But you don't want to accept those quotes. Let's move on to this other thing, because this is important.
Yeah, he does not. Great job by Jake Tapper. Glenn Youngkin is just like so many others within the Republican Party today. They're MAGA apologists with no backbone. Let me be very clear on this. Jake Tapper was referencing a direct quote from Donald Trump. And in this quote, Donald Trump is not talking about undocumented immigrants. He's not even talking about criminals, whether legal or not. He's specifically talking about Donald Trump saying that he wanted to use the military to go after the left. Nothing about criminals, nothing about undocumented immigrants, nothing. Tell me that that doesn't frighten you. Tell me that that's not dangerous. And when you ask somebody, a coward like Glenn Youngkin, who, make no mistake about it, is a complete and utter coward, he deflects it. You can ask them about health care. You could say, Mr. Youngkin, where is Donald Trump's health care plan? For 9 years, he's had the opportunity to come up with a replacement plan for Obamacare. What does concepts of a plan mean? Can you please tell me what Donald Trump's health care plan is? And the answer would be, well, let's talk about the border. Let's talk about the border czar, Kamala Harris. This is the way these idiots answer these kinds of questions. It's despicable. It's disgusting. They have no backbone. And when you say you're going to use the military if you become the president to go after the left, if that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will, ladies and gentlemen. You are deplorable. I want to tell you guys quickly to check out my new website, pushingthelimits.live. We are an independently owned radio show. We rely on people like you. We ask that you check out the website. Sign up for the free newsletter, pushingthelimits.live. You can subscribe to my YouTube page, which is at PTL Radio Show. Let's see more likes on there. Give me the thumbs up. The more thumbs up, the more engagement is better for the show. Pushingthelimits.live. We sell merchandise, shirts, hats, beanies, you name it, we sell it. And if you don't want to buy any merchandise, totally cool. There's also a donate button right on the front page there. You'll see a little button that you click, a donate button, $5, $10, $20 a month, whatever you can afford. We really appreciate your support, and it helps us keep the lights on, for lack of a better term, and keep doing what we're doing. Check it out, pushingthelimits.live. Coming up next, two guys that I admire very much. They have so many great movies. They're great actors, directors. They've done it all in the business. They've been around for a while. Jeremy and Jason London are going to be joining us next, and we are going to be talking politics with them, why they're supporting Kamala Harris. We'll take a quick break with the London brothers right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
In these uncertain times, we need a leader who puts policy over politics.
I'm Ron Quince. I am beyond the bickering and what we see today. I am running to fight for your values, faith, family, and freedom.
Ron Quince stands for safe borders, lower taxes, and lower prices.
Let's take our country back, one community, one vote at a time. I am Ron Quince, and I'm asking for your vote because every vote matters. I am Ron Quince, and I approve this message.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part? Every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at radioyou101.com.
Tired of the same old date night? Craving a deeper connection with your partner? O-Box is your escape into a world of romance and passion. Each month, discover a box filled with personalized surprises, exciting activities, and a love story written just for the two of you. Ignite desire, share laughter, and make memories that last a lifetime. Your O-Box journey culminates into a beautiful love novel. Ready to write the first thrilling chapter? Let the O-Box adventure begin. Visit our website, obox.com. That's OBOXXX.com. And get started.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
I'm Shelley Berkeley, and I approve this message.
Shelley Berkeley, a proud Las Vegan who shatters barriers, becoming the first in her family to attend college, and served as UNLV's student body president, serving in the Nevada legislature, the University Board of Regents, and 7 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. Shelley excelled as the senior VP of the Toro University system. Shelley Berkeley, a dedicated mother and family woman. Shelley has the experience we need as our next mayor. Shelley gets things done.
Paid for by Shelley Berkeley for mayor.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helps Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and food. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helps Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
Hello, I'm Ron Quince, and I'm running for Congress as a nonpartisan candidate in District 1. I'm dedicated to serving our entire community. In this challenging time, it's more important than ever to have leaders who focus on unity and progress. I believe in putting people over politics and finding practical solutions that benefit us all. Never stop believing in America, no matter our troubles and turmoil. We can and we will do better. We must be brave. Stop voting for those politicians who care about their career and gaining power but don't improve our lives. I believe in America and I believe in you. You need a candidate who believes in policy over party because you deserve better. In Nevada, every voice matters. I humbly ask for your vote this coming election, November 5th. To learn how we can create a better America, please visit quincefornevada.com. Paid for by Ron Quince for Congress.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Wednesday. Programming note for you. I'll make this announcement now. The man who was accused by a sheriff of a third assassination attempt on Donald Trump, his name is Vem Miller, and it turns out that was not true and it was a hoax. That man, Vem Miller, is going to be joining us on the show tomorrow, so that should be very, very interesting. So you're not going to want to miss that. He's going to start the show with us tomorrow. You know, I interview all sorts of people on this show. Actors, musicians, politicians, and just everyday people that come to the show every day from all over the country. And I remember I was watching the DNC, and I was watching Tim Walz speak that night, and it was a great speech, and his wonderful family, and his son, I believe his name is Gus, if I'm not mistaken. And Gus is a special needs child, and the right was going after him because he was crying because he loves his dad. And then I take to social media, and I see a very heartfelt, touching video from actor Jeremy London talking about his grandson. And I was really taken aback by it, and it got millions of views, and it went viral. And Jeremy did the show and talked about it, and I said, let's get Jeremy on with his brother Jason, and let's talk a little bit about the issues facing this country right now. So it is an honor and a pleasure. I've been fans of their work and their movies since I was a kid. Dazed and Confused, Mallrats, Party of Five, Seventh Heaven, you name it, these guys have done it. And it's an honor and a pleasure to have Jeremy and Jason London joining us on the show right now. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. So great to have both of you. How are you?
I'm good. Are you guys seeing me right now?
I'm free. We see you and we hear you, man.
Wonderful.
We are good.
It's so strange because I don't see you.
That's really weird. That might be a good thing. I don't know, but we see you guys just fine.
I've seen that guy before. Every time I look in the mirror, I'm tired of him.
It's hard to differentiate the two of you. I'll say that. Thank you both for coming on. I really appreciate it. Jason, let me start with you real quick.
Yes,
when you saw your brother's video talking about his grandson and then talking about that whole situation with Tim Walz and his son, I'm curious, what went through your mind, Jason?
I'm going to take it back a couple of years. Our sister, Jeremy told you, our sister was, she got pregnant when she was 15. And she had the baby just after she turned 16. and he was born with a syndrome called TARS syndrome, TARS, TARS syndrome, which is a deficiency of basically he didn't have a radius on both of his arms. His arms had little short arms. His kneecaps didn't develop. He only had one kidney. He still does. He's a grown man. By the grace of God, I mean, we didn't even know that would happen. And so, you know, even back then, and then our sister, and I'm not trying to get the sympathy vote here, our sister was killed in a car wreck when he was about, what, Jeremy, 9 months old?
7 months, I think.
7 months old. Yeah. So Dieter was killed in a car wreck, unfortunately. And so Skylar, our nephew, not only was he given this plight in life, like you think about, like you have this one life at a time kind of idea, and this is the Lord has given him this challenge that we all see our daily grievances, and we're tired of paying bills and inflation and rent and blah, blah, blah. But you don't look at the people that actually, from the minute they wake up in the morning to the time they go to bed at night, are dealing with something that we can't relate to. And so Jeremy and I both, we've known this with our nephew, and we've had other family members as well. And you see that, and you try to be there for them. Our cousin Greg was run over by a train, crazy enough. And he became a different human being. And we, as a family, all gathered around him as well. So whenever, this is what I'm going to say. Whenever the right side makes fun of another side, that means they've already lost the plot. They're already so behind the eight ball that they have to resort to being ugly. They have to resort to being mean. Because I see these memes with like Kamala walking with clown shoes on.
Right.
Yo, those clown shoes are gonna, you know,
stomp everybody.
We'll
stomp everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's about empathy. It's about sympathy. It's about
it was a soft spot. It was a soft spot in my heart already. We clearly had.
And what Jeremy said,
already have the dukes up. We were already defensive.
You know, Jeremy and I are, you know, it's weird being a twin because you're a clone. You're kind of, you've had every experience together as you've been born and grown up.
Right.
We had the same experiences when we were children, when we went through really poor, hard times. There were times when we literally had to go out and hunt for food.
Wow.
But honestly, kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
The guy that did it was a piece of shit, but
you're on the radio, Jay.
That's okay.
Jason, you're on the radio.
Yeah. That's our
PG-13.
No,
keep it PG-13.
But what I'm saying is that we have an understanding of like empathy.
Sure. And Jeremy, I want to ask you about that empathy, the word empathy. I talked about this in the first segment where Donald Trump is doing a town hall today, and he's asked about Amber Thurman and her family doing a rebuttal to the stuff he says. And he makes a joke about Amber Thurman, a black woman who died because of the abortion
or something. Didn't he say
yeah, exactly. Exactly. He makes a joke about the ratings. Here's a woman who died because of abortion ban laws in Georgia. I mean, your brother mentions the word empathy, and I agree with him. I mean, what do you make of a statement like that?
Well, I mean, you know, what I know is that in this last, he's the rat that's being pushed into the corner, and he's only going to get more rabid and vicious as the clock ticks down, because
it's coming down.
It's not just an election on the line for him. This is all.
Well,
of his,
it's a lot of pardons.
Let me finish the thought. Hold on. This is all of the court cases, all of everything that he is going to try to avoid. All of those people, the J6 people that think they're going to get pardons, they're not going to get those pardons. All of these things that are hinging on him needing to win. He doesn't want to be the president again. He needs to be the president again. That's the problem with this.
Exactly. I mean,
Because
Jeremy
desperate times are going to call for desperate measures, and he's a horrible,
Right.
ugly person, and he's only going to reveal his soul more and more as he's becoming more deluded and desperate. It's
Yeah,
just get ugly.
I think Jeremy takes things like he like puts it in a box way better than I do, because I'm kind of a little more like you, Brian. Like I kind of like lose my mind a little bit. Like I get angry because when I see somebody be mean to somebody, marginalized, like somebody like in any sense be made fun of, or they call them a name or something, I get mad like my mom. I'm kind of like a redneck a little bit, and
my mom's a
down on
mean
that
redneck,
a little bit.
by the way. Yeah, my mom's a mean redneck. So,
Well,
and she's very Irish. So
it's interesting.
I go a little Irish on it. Yeah.
If you're just joining us, Jeremy and Jason London, lucky to have them on with us. You hear a lot from the far right attacking Hollywood, as they would call it, liberal Hollywood elitists. Yet when you go to Mar-a-Lago, they're all a bunch of billionaire elitists. And I would like to think that you guys are the opposite of that. I never, in talking to you guys and talking to you, Jeremy, you're the opposite of an elitist. You are hardworking Americans. Sure, you've been in the movies before and people know who you are. You're celebrities. What would you say to people on the far right, these MAGA people that say, oh, you guys are just, liberal, leftist, Hollywood elitist? What to both of you, what would you say to that?
I live in Mississippi, and I basically make art for a living now. I'm raising a grand. I've basically decided to sort of almost sacrifice that aspect of my life to raise this baby, and to be here for a baby that needs me more than Hollywood needs me.
Very admirable.
And I don't need Hollywood. And so,
right.
it is what it is.
That's very admirable.
The question, because I would love to answer it.
Yeah, Jason, the question is, there's a lot of people on the far right that are these MAGA supporters that call people like you guys Hollywood elitists. Now, I certainly don't feel that way at all. You guys seem to be the opposite of that. What would you say to these MAGA people out there that say, oh, who cares? You guys are just Hollywood actors and liberal elitists. What would you say to that?
I would like to say to them that the romantic idea of Hollywood left us about 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the people in Hollywood now, look, I'm going to put it very simple. The Hawk Tua girl makes more money than I do.
That is
everything.
That is pretty funny, actually.
Temporary.
So
look, temporary.
Look, Jeremy and I were lucky enough to get into the industry when we still made movies on film, when we still had 35 millimeter mags that ran out, and they would have to say stop, and then the sound would have to make sure that the mag didn't fuck up the sound.
Jason.
And then they would have to do a thing called check the gate, which meant there might be one of the, remember back in the day, guys, a squirty little hair across.
I remember.
So back in our day when we started,
yep,
you actually had to worry about a hair being in the processing of the film, and then when they processed it, there would be. So we're from back in the day.
Sure.
Like we're from real movies.
Right.
My first movie was directed by the director of To Kill a Mockingbird.
Mm.
Jeremy was one of an incredible part of that movie for me and for everybody involved. And we got to experience what it was like in real Hollywood. And then digital media.
Right.
Remember that old 80s, like radio killed the, what it was called? Video killed the radio star?
Yeah, sure.
Well, digital killed the movie star.
I agree. I think everything was better in the 90s. I still live in the 90s.
And also, like we have these sort of scripted, kind of like formulaic superhero movies and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're a comic book collector or whatever, and I have no hate for that whatsoever, but what I'm saying is that, like, do you not want to go back to like great movies?
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's what I want to do. I mean, I think of some great movies that both of you have been in. And I want to ask you, Jason, let me ask you about, because Dazed and Confused has always been one of my favorite movies of all time, right? You worked with Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey, I remember after the Uvalde, Texas shooting, if you remember that passionate speech he made at the White House, he comes from a very staunch Republican Texas family. Did you
Yes.
want him to go further in that speech? I mean, you know Matthew pretty well. Did you want him to go further? Because I appreciate his thoughtfulness and the things he said, but he didn't really talk about gun control. He didn't talk about Governor Abbott. What are your thoughts on that? Because you worked with Matthew.
Yes. I will say this. That was over 30 years ago.
Right.
And when I first met him, he was still in college.
Wow.
And so for me to have an opinion about that is something that I am not equipped to have an opinion about.
Understood. Okay, let me start this question with Jeremy, and then I'll ask you, Jason, the same question. If you had the opportunity to be in a room privately with Donald Trump, PG-13, obviously, but what would you say to him? I'm curious, because what would you say to Donald Trump now if you had the opportunity? I'll start with you, Jeremy.
If I was sorry, what was the question?
If you had the opportunity to sit down with Donald Trump and you had the opportunity to talk with him in private, what would you say to him?
I guess, how can you live with yourself? You know what I mean?
No, come on.
Because Jason,
He's gonna skirt that. He's gonna skirt that. I'm not gonna answer
Hold on,
that.
this is my answer. This is my answer. I would ask him, because I would say, you lost. You know, every time you lie, when you lie, that it's a lie. Like, how do you genuinely get through this?
Mm-hmm.
How do you wake up from one day to the next and have to live in those lies, because you have to remember the things you lied about. That's a lot of energy.
Right.
You know?
I think that's very fair.
It's so much easier just to kind of live in truth, and you don't have to worry about that.
Can you ask me that question?
Yeah, well, I have a feeling that, Jason, you won't be as nice as your brother, but try to make it PG-13. Like, if you have the opportunity to speak to Trump, what would you say to him, Jason?
Tell me one truth about yourself that no one else knows.
I don't think he would do that. I don't think he's capable, Jason, of answering that.
Exactly.
He's not capable, right?
That's
no chance. Yeah, I think that's a good question to ask. I don't think he would answer it. Let's talk about some positive stuff. Kamala Harris, right? She would not only be the first female president, but obviously biracial, Indian, and Black. I think she's an extremely intelligent woman, a nice person. I was lucky enough to meet her last month. Jeremy,
I'm so jealous, man. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as a whole, that ticket?
I think that it's re-energized the country. I mean, we're seeing record turnouts in Georgia and Pennsylvania. There are people that were not going to vote that are voting. He's pissed off a lot of people that are going to vote now that maybe were on the fence or whatever. Women are charging. Listen. There you can put your finger to the wind in certain ways. And in Florida, at what's the place where all the old people are?
Mar-a-Lago?
No,
dude, come on.
Gosh, you know what I'm talking about? That community where all the people
that
used to be super hardcore. The villages are all having these
the villages. That's where they have the most STDs.
Yeah, but anyway,
that's funny.
Dogs. You got people.
That's okay, no problem. Kids and dogs, it's awesome.
I'm surprised my cats haven't come up here already.
So, Jason, let me ask you that too. What are your thoughts on Kamala Harris and the prospect of having our first female president? People thought Hillary was going to win in 2016. What do you think about this ticket and your thoughts on Kamala Harris?
I think there's an intrinsic difference between Hillary and Kamala, in the sense that Hillary was sort of brought in through her husband and all of those things, and also a history of things. I think that what Kamala is representing right now, it's so easy to put it on race or put it on her sex. It's so incredibly pedantic to just put it on what she is as, like, what you look at when you look at a picture.
Right.
She's far more than that. She was a California Attorney General.
Yep.
She has credits that no other president, I don't think, that I can know of, has.
Right.
as far as credibility. And this is when family and friends lost me, is when they start calling her a DEI hire, because ask them what DEI means.
Can I ask you about that, Jason? And tell me, I'm not saying that everybody uses this term, feels this way, but I feel like, and I'll ask both of you this, when some of these MAGA supporters use that term, DEI hire, I feel like it's like they're calling them the N-word.
It is.
That's like,
exactly
it's their,
Hey,
Yeah.
listen. Also, ask them, what does Marxist mean?
Right.
They say most Marxist.
They don't
socialist,
know.
Marxist,
They don't
socialist,
even know
communist,
who Karl Marx
English,
was. They think it was something like a marking on a board.
Right.
Like marking Marxist.
Let me ask you another question, because it's in regards to what you were talking about. Jeremy, I'll go to you first. The slogan, "Make America Great Again." My personal belief is that means make America white again.
Exactly.
I think that's what that means. What do you guys think about that, Jeremy? I'll start with you.
And 100% means make America white again. I think that, I think we talked about this last time, and how, ultimately, Trump, we've discovered the chink in our armor, and I think those things are going to be much more robust. We're going to be a much better system for the whole thing. So ultimately, he's going to wind up kind of making America great again in its own weird way.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying with that. Jason, what does "Make America Great Again" mean to you?
It means the worms are coming out of the soil. It's his hatred has shown the rest of the country the awful human beings. And I have this thing that I call the red hat bonfire that's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. And the rain brought the worms out of the sand. And when the worms came up, and all the worms get together and they're all talking about their powers and everything, like, listen, when you have 15 white supremacists all rallying, well, they are so excited in that moment. It's like they all did acid together, or they all did mushrooms together, whatever. They get really excited, but they don't realize, like, outside of your myopic little circle you're in, the other people are laughing at you. And so that they build up their base. You see these women with tattoos on their face, the Donald Trump dumpster tattoo of the lady, the Trump tattoo on the girl's head.
Crazy.
There's going to be a lot of regret.
It's not just a cult, because calling it a cult, I think, is simplifying it. It's somewhere in people's brain, they need to be led by a string.
Yeah.
They need that.
Right.
They need it. And when they
I
have,
say when
I'm going
really
to provide
America
it for
great?
you, regardless of their dissociation from the fact that he's a billionaire and you have food stamps, somehow they connect it. And I still, in my brain, can't get it.
Brian,
Have you guys?
Brian, I do think that we need to take it from the whole "Make America Great" thing, just to make America great, right? When was America ever real? And through our history,
America's always been great.
It's always been great on a level, but to be truly great would be for everybody loving each other. They're not being, through the decades, there's been slavery and Jim Crow and all of the things that existed that really discount it really truly ever being like a really, really, really truly great for everybody. Great means great for everybody.
No,
and that's what
the thing is that we're never going to be a completely socialist country.
Right.
We're never going to get to that point where everybody has everything, because then you become a communist, right?
Yeah.
And also the communist countries, everybody got the same amount of soup and bread every day. So was that better than whenever capitalism came in, and then you had?
I don't understand why one has to be why it can't be great without why does it have to become that?
Because mankind and the desire for land. And this is what it goes back to. I mean, you look at the Good Earth, the beautiful book, The Good Earth, and it had to deal with, even though written by an American woman, which is crazy, but it's about the desire that land that gave you the food, that gave you the things that prosper your family, turned into something that they could capitalize on.
Right. No, I hear that. I hear what you're saying there. And to what both of you are speaking of, but I look at this country and I love I'm so glad I live in America. At that point, though, I would still talk about, we still had slavery and Republicans want to ban books and they talk about critical race theory. Women couldn't vote for a very long time.
72.
Right. I mean, is that what Donald Trump wants to go back to?
That is exactly what he wants to go back to.
Isn't that sad? Well, listen, I can say.
Listen. This is the thing. He is appealing to this very tiny group of very tiny brains. He's appealing to these people that just want to be force-fed an ideal because they don't know what's up and what's down.
Jason, I agree with what you're saying. I don't disagree with you, but I'm still worried about November. And the reason why I'm worried is there's still a lot of people out there that aren't going to be voting for Kamala Harris. I'm still worried. The polls are very close. There are a lot of stupid people in this country. And if you're not stupid, you're smart, but you're selfish. And maybe you're in the top 1%. I don't know their reasoning, why they would support this man, but I'm still worried. I don't know if you guys are worried. I'm worried.
This is my opinion is this. I think that people are genuinely disengaged. They're the same people that go to the supermarket and buy the Inquirer off the magazine because it has something really juicy in it, right?
Right.
So these are the people that aren't actually engaged in the perfunctory. We are a society. And so they go there and they go, I don't care, or I'm not going to vote or whatever. I'm going to take the I'm not going to votes right now because those are all his guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are no I'm not going to votes on Kamala's side right now. And I think that she presents something that's positive versus trying to separate people, trying to say other people have bad genes.
Right.
I think the polls are
blood
misleading. Of our country.
I think the polls need us to believe it because the polls are mostly led by mainstream media that needs people scared and needs people constantly tuning in and continuing to think
very
that
possible
this is as close as it is. But look, if you look at not only the rallies but the early turnouts.
Sure.
In both of these places, in all of these early places, it's overwhelmingly Democrat. And then I truly believe the people that are showing up in that third column of the people that aren't, Republican, because we don't know who's voting for what. They only know who's registration,
right.
by the ballot registration that's coming. They don't actually know who's actually voting yet. They're not turning.
I think that's a good point. Jeremy. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I think you're right. We'll find out. Before I let you guys go, I got to have a little bit of fun here. How many times in your lifetimes have you guys been mistaken for your brother? I can't even imagine how much that is happening.
Dude, come on. How many stars are there in the sky?
I mean, is it every day? Even today?
Well, not
It got
now.
to the point where I just started saying, when people meet me
exactly
and they're meeting Randall Pink Floyd, it's the same experience to them as if they are. And so it got exhausting saying, actually I'm his twin, because a lot of times people didn't believe you and they were like, yeah, he just thinks he's better than everybody.
Jeremy, how many times has someone said, man, I loved you in Dazed and Confused?
A lot. I mostly just say thank you, depending on how much what I've got going on or whatever.
Yeah, I've had it a lot from his side too.
Sure, of course, you were great in Mallrats.
But also, Jeremy's always been more of a social butterfly than me.
Gotcha.
So I've definitely been out and about, and people like, yo, man, we hung out, I met you. I'm like, I have no idea who you are.
If there was one actor or actress in your career that you wish you could have worked with, that you never were able to work with, for both of you, who would that be?
Tom Hanks for me.
That's a good one.
I auditioned for him twice, and he was so kind to me both times, and had really, really, really just those moments where I really thought I was going to get to work with Tom Hanks, and it didn't work out, but that would have been a really, really.
He endorsed Kamala Harris, so that's a good thing. Jason, how about for you?
Of course he did. Okay. Come on.
Who would it be for you, Jason?
Well, you know what I would say is I would actually, you know, if I had a choice, I would actually go in there and I would, you know, do Jimmy Stewart because, you know, he was the greatest. Jimmy Stewart was the greatest ever.
That's a good one too.
That was pretty good. Was that good?
I didn't know you were an
like it was good.
impersonator too. Can I get? I don't know. You think
Jones? We just watched Mr. Jones Goes to Washington 2 days ago.
Mr.
Jones Goes to Washington.
All I can do is Matthew McConaughey. All right. That's it.
Stop. That's even
I'm not an
worse.
impersonator.
That's not even good.
It's terrible. I'm a radio host, man. Listen, I mean this sincerely. Both of you guys are just great dudes. One of these days we got to meet up and grab a beer. But I love what you guys.
I don't drink, but yes. Okay.
Water, coffee.
Dude, I went professional and retired.
Fair enough. I love what you guys have done in your career, but to be honest with you, I even love more you guys speaking out on these important issues. Jeremy, you know how I feel about your video, and you guys are definitely making a difference, man. And it's an honor to have both of you on the show. And I just want to thank both of you so much for coming on. I'd love to have you on again. Hopefully, if we get the result we want in November.
Hey, listen,
we will.
Hey, listen, even if we don't, we only have 4 years, and I don't think he's going to make it that far, which means
he might not.
JD Vance.
Yeah. That's scary. Even more scary.
Republicans, remember this. When Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump's a good thing. If that happens, JD Vance is going to be your president. So vote.
Boy, that's scary. Keep your couches away. Keep the eyeliner away. Oh my goodness. I love it.
Imagine if he becomes a president. Maybelline's like, yar.
Oh my God. That is a scary thought. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Jeremy, Jason, I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. It truly is a pleasure. Love to have you guys on again down the road. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Later, guys.
Have a good one.
There you go. Love you guys. Thank you. Jeremy and Jason London, everybody. That was pretty cool. I grew up with their movies growing up. I mean, those guys were huge back in the 90s, right? I mean, Dazed and Confused is one of my favorite movies of all time. And of course, Jason London was a star in that movie. And Mallrats. Come on. You want to talk about two cult classics. Party of Five was a great show. Seventh Heaven. Those guys have been everywhere. And I was so moved by and so happy to see Jeremy London's video because it was so heartfelt and honest about his grandson, who is a special needs child. And after those attacks on Tim Walz's son, Jeremy immediately put out this video that went viral, and it was so real. It was so raw. And I said, I got to hit this guy up and I got to get him on my show. And you know, such a pleasure to have both of them on. Just great people, nice family, good, just really down to earth, good guys that have had obviously a great career. But just to have them on the show talking about the importance of this election really means a lot to me. So I really do appreciate both of them coming on. All right, we're going to take some calls next. It's your time to shine now, ladies and gentlemen. We just had actors Jeremy and Jason London on the show. In the first segment, obviously, I talked a little bit about Donald Trump's statement earlier today about a woman who literally died because of an abortion ban in Georgia. And his first reaction to the statement to his family was, we're going to get more ratings than them. I mean, it's so despicable and it's so disgusting. We're taking your calls on that. We're taking your calls on, once again, Donald Trump talking about how January 6th was a peaceful transfer of power. We're going to be talking about that. We're talking about that really, really weird lack of thereof of a town hall that Donald Trump had, where he starts dancing around like a moron for 30 minutes, doing, for lack of a better term, I don't even know what that is. The masturbation dance? I don't even know what that is. So we're talking about all those issues. It's the most interactive show in the country. And now it's your chance to call in. Hey, maybe you're okay with the Donald Trump joke about a woman who had an abortion and died. Maybe you're okay with that. Maybe you're a MAGA supporter. Call in and make the case. I'll disagree with you, but call in and make the case. 702-221-7283. And by the way, as I mentioned before, the man that was accused by a police chief outside of Coachella, accused of a third assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Turns out that wasn't the case. He's going to be going on the show, on our show tomorrow. His name's Van Miller. He's agreed to talk with us tomorrow, so that should be interesting as well. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. I want to tell you guys the official gaming bar of the Pushing Limits radio show is Jackson's Bar and Grill. located at Flamingo and Jones. Man, they got great promotions this month, including the Pass the Puck contest during Vegas Golden Knights games. You can earn $50 in free slot play on Sunday if you get 350 points playing a machine. Check in with them for more details. The official gaming bar of the Pushing the Limits radio show, Jackson's Bar and Grill. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, your chance to shine. We're going to hear from you, 702-17283. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
In these uncertain times, we need a leader who puts policy over politics.
I'm Ron Quince. I am beyond the bickering and what we see today. I am running to fight for your values, faith, family, and freedom.
Ron Quince stands for safe borders, lower taxes, and lower prices.
Let's take our country back, one community, one vote at a time. I am Ron Quince, and I'm asking for your vote because every vote matters. I am Ron Quince, and I approve this message.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
I'm Shelley Berkeley, and I approve this message.
Shelley Berkeley, a proud Las Vegan who shatters barriers, becoming the first in her family to attend college, and served as UNLV's student body president, serving in the Nevada legislature, the University Board of Regents, and 7 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. Shelley excelled as the senior VP of the Toro University system. Shelley Berkeley, a dedicated mother and family woman. Shelley has the experience we need as our next mayor. Shelley gets things done.
Paid for by Shelley Berkeley for mayor.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part, every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at RadioYOU101.com.
Tired of the same old date night? Craving a deeper connection with your partner? O-Box is your escape into a world of romance and passion. Each month, discover a box filled with personalized surprises, exciting activities, and a love story written just for the two of you. Ignite desire, share laughter, and make memories that last a lifetime. Your O-Box journey culminates into a beautiful love novel. Ready to write the first thrilling chapter? Let the O-Box adventure begin. Visit our website, obox.com. That's OBOXXX.com. And get started.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. We just had the London brothers on. They were arguing a little bit. I'm in the middle of like a London brothers spat. I don't know, but they were great. We just had Jeremy and Jason London on. Love their movies. Just really good people talking about the upcoming elections. We're talking about a lot of stuff. I want to play this clip again if I can before we get to the phone calls, and it's the first clip I played on this show if my producer has it, it's the clip where Donald Trump is about to do a town hall on Fox News. And before the town hall, Faulkner, who works for Fox News, is asking him about a woman who lost her life, an innocent black woman who lost her life. And she lost her life because of the restricted abortion ban laws in Georgia. She leaves behind a 7-year-old son. It's a tragic story. And in this clip, Faulkner's saying, well, before our town hall, I guess this family is going to be doing a rebuttal to you. And they're, you know, and I just want you to listen to this clip because it's so despicable.
Amba Thurman's family have come out on a press call, and they're doing what's called a pre-buttal 2-hour town hall right now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And I want to
get better ratings, I promise.
He's asked about this woman, Thurman, this poor, innocent black woman who died because she couldn't get the health care that she needed because it would have been against the law because of the restricted abortion ban laws in Georgia. It's a tragic story. And he's talking about ratings. He makes a joke, and those despicable people in the crowd, who in my opinion are just as dumb, maybe worse than him. And this is who the leader of the Republican Party is. It doesn't matter what your opinions are on abortion. This woman died. She lost her life. And any decent human being, regardless of what your opinions are on abortion, would say, that's horrible. My heart goes out to her family. It's a terrible thing. And then just leave it alone, man. The family is still grieving. They'll never get over this. And he makes a joke. He makes a joke about ratings because ratings are more important to him than human lives. It's more important to him to remain in power than people who die. January 6th is a perfect example of that. How can you vote for this man? This coward, this despicable, offensive human being, this liable sexual abusing felon. How can you support this man? He's making a joke about a woman's family that are grieving the loss of their daughter, their sister, who died because you helped overturn Roe versus Wade. You scumbag. You turd, you. So sorry to the Thurman family that this SOB is making jokes about you when he should be partially responsible for why your loved one died. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's start off with Joseph. Joseph is first up on PTL. Hey, Joseph, what's going on, man?
Yeah, hey, Brad. All right, here's my piece. Hearing Trump talk about making jokes about Amba Thurman, I find that upsetting. I find that very upsetting because this is the same guy who loves making jokes. And imagine, like I say, imagine what happens if Trump and Mark Robinson and J.D. Vance are going to say after they win.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be terrible and disgusting the way they're going to say, knowing Mark Robinson, he'll say.
Oh, you're right. I mean, this is a self-described black Nazi. You're absolutely right, Joseph. What is their excuse for this joke? You'll hear Republicans asked about this on all the shows tonight, CNN, MSNBC. I guarantee you they won't be talking about it on Fox News. They won't be talking about it on Newsmax. They won't be talking about it on OAN. Oh, no. They'll talk about Kamala Harris's accent, right? This is a despicable man, the leader of the Republican Party, who made a joke about a woman and her family about ratings when they lost their daughter because of the strict abortion laws in Georgia. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Mike. Mike is next up on PTL. What's up, Mike?
Oh, not much. Just sitting here enjoying your show.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
You know, Trump's talking about all these mass deportations and everything.
Right.
I wonder how many illegals he's got working at Mar-a-Lago.
You know what? We know
probably quite a few.
It's a good question. And, we know from his life that he has hired illegals or undocumented immigrants is probably a better word to use to work for him in the past. So you're absolutely right. Let me be very clear on this. And I don't care if this offends people. I really don't care. The people that were laughing and clapping when Donald Trump made a joke about Thurman's family today should be deported. The MAGA supporters out there that are bigot white supremacists that enjoy their Confederate flags, and they think it's funny when Donald Trump says things about legal Haitian immigrants. These are the kinds of people that should be deported from this country. Make no mistake about it. I would rather have people coming into this country that might be undocumented, that want a better life for themselves and their families, that are decent people, than any of these MAGA scumbags that think it's funny when Donald Trump insults a family who lost their daughter. I want to be very clear on that.
Well, they do more. They do all the jobs that the lazy white people don't want to do.
Amen, brother. I'm with you.
Here in Denver, you see them doing roofs, working on the asphalt and everything.
Sure.
Even the panhandlers will wash their windows, where the white guys will just stand there.
So you make a good point there as well, and I agree with you, and thank you for the call. You could also make the case that these right-wing MAGA morons who complain about inflation don't understand that these are the people that are giving us the opportunity to buy those vegetables in the grocery store at reasonable prices. By the way, when it comes to inflation is under 3%. We're the leaders of all the G7 countries in the world, but MAGA morons don't want to talk about that either because they can't spell the word fact. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff is next up on PTL. What's going on, Jeff?
Brian, I am fired up today. But before I dig in, from my understanding in prison circles, Trump's double-fisted dance is known as the Eiffel Tower, and clearly Trump's a natural at it. But I received my New Hampshire absentee ballot yesterday, so please don't even think about treading on me today. I took my sweet time enthusiastically voting blue all the way down the ticket. It was the most meaningful ballot I've ever filled out, and I felt it.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, every single Republican on every single ballot, coast to coast, is complicit with Trump, and they deserve to get voted out on their collective ass.
I agree with you. So, Jeff,
please.
I agree with you, Jeff. I'm gonna start asking people this question, and some people might find it inappropriate. I'm doing it for levity, but we're gonna have fun with this. Okay? When Donald Trump does that, I don't even know what to call it. Would you call it a masturbation dance? I don't even know what it is, but that weird dance, right? I would say the two people that would be side by side when he's doing that dance, I'm going to give you my two. You ready? If two people were side by side when he's doing that dance, I would say J.D. Vance and Lindsey Graham. Those are my two. So I want you to give me your two now. When Donald Trump does that crazy dance, who are the two people that you think would be standing next to him? I think it's a fair question to ask.
It is a fair question to ask, but on the spot, can you give me a day to think about it?
Give me a call back tomorrow. Don't think too hard.
Hold on, though, Brian, one thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I wish MAGA would wake up because he is a convicted fraudster. He's a grifter, a serial sexual abuser. He's a bigot, and make no mistake about it, he's a traitor.
Amen.
He sent Putin COVID testing equipment.
You're right.
That's not America first,
no,
assholes.
He's a traitor. There are good people on both sides. I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they would still support me. That is what I'm asking my callers right now, that we're going to have a little fun with this. Because, listen, we talk about a lot of serious topics on the show, and we're still going to do that today. We are. When Donald Trump does that really weird dance with both of his hands, if you know what I'm talking about here, who do you think that the two men would be standing side by side right next to him when he does that dance? I said J.D. Vance and Lindsey Graham. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Kava. Kava is next. Hey, Kava. Kava, who would be standing next to Donald Trump when he does that dance?
The disgusting, ugly Elon.
Okay, you got to give me one more, though. That's a good one, but you got to give me one more.
Let's see. J.D. Ugly.
J.D. Vance and Elon Musk, I think, are up there at the top. So I think that's pretty good.
I don't really pay attention to either of them. They're both extremely ugly and unworthy of even being seen.
I would say ugly on the inside for sure. I won't speak to their appearance on the outside, but yeah.
Look at their hair, bro.
Yeah.
Look like they haven't cut their hair in 7 days. Right? But I called to say that as someone from Ecuador myself, this election is personal to me because if we don't get Harris into office, Donald Trump is going to destroy Latin America. He's going to allow the piece of crap in Russia to destroy Latin America. He's also going to send us back to days when Jackie Robinson couldn't play baseball. He's going to do that.
I think so. So Kava, I think that's what he wants. I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish that. But you know what? We got to make sure that he doesn't see the White House ever again. Don't even give him the opportunity. I'm with you, Kava. I'm with you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Marion. Marion is next up on PTL. Hi, Marion.
Hi, Brian. I called in a couple of days ago, but I've been listening, and I love your show.
Thank you.
I want to just tell you, I have a master's degree in social work and a bachelor's degree in sociology and psychology, and I had to do biopsychosocials for a living for a while.
Yep.
And Donald Trump is clinically a narcissist and a sociopath. He has not 1 ounce of empathy. Not one.
So what you're talking about, I completely agree with you. What do you make of Donald Trump today when they weren't actually recording the show? This was before the show. He was asked about Thurman and her family, the young black woman who died because of the strict abortion laws in Georgia. And he reacts by saying, we're going to get more ratings than them, because the family was doing a rebuttal of his show. And instead of showing any empathy at all, he says, we're going to get more ratings than them. He demeans people that lost a loved one because of him, because of overturning Roe versus Wade. What do you think of that?
I think that that's his personality. Look what he did to the children at the border. He ripped them away from their parents. What normal person takes children away from their parents like that and then just loses them?
Yeah.
He doesn't have any empathy. And if he comes in and he does what he wants to do, all these Republicans, I worked in restaurants. I was a bartender for a long time, a waitress. These restaurants and roofing companies and landscaping, they all have undocumented immigrants working for them so they don't have to pay payroll taxes.
No question. I agree with
including Donald Trump.
Right. No, you're right.
Including Donald Trump.
Listen, I'm not debating that. You're 150% correct. Donald Trump has had undocumented immigrants working for him his entire life. Donald Trump would have all undocumented immigrants working for him today if he knew that he would save some money if he wasn't running for president of the United States. So, my dear, you're 150% correct. I'm on your side. I do want to ask people, I want to stay on the topic here as well. When he does that weird Donald Trump dance, who are the two men that you think would be side by side? Like I said J.D. Vance and Lindsey Graham. Let's go to Charles. Charles is next up on PTL. What's going on, Charles?
Brian, they call that ski polling, even though I'm not in a state where there is skis. So the dance is called ski polling.
The ski
polling. And I'm thinking Leonard Leo and maybe John Roberts.
Oh, that's
Supreme Court.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about that. That's a good one. Maybe throw Clarence Thomas in there. I don't know, or Kavanaugh, but that's a good one. That's a good one. I like it.
So moving forward, it's ski polling, and then I just wanted to throw out there. I know you're not married, correct, Brian?
I am not. No woman could ever put up with me. No.
That's how I feel. But I wanted to give you a scenario because I think one of the most satisfying things I saw in the last month was Colin Allred wiping the floor with Ted Cruz.
Oh, wasn't that great last night? Oh, wasn't Allred great? Ted Cruz is going to be packing to Cancun, man. He's going to lose.
And the reason why I was asking if he's married, let's go back a little bit further. So let's say you are married, and I tell you that your wife is ugly.
Right.
And then I tell you that your father was complicit in the murder of JFK.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you and I are going to be able to sit in the same room together.
I'd want to fight
Would you agree?
I'd want to fight that person.
Even if I get my, what, kicked, we're going to the mat on that.
But let's take it a step further. He not only endorsed Donald Trump, and he's been wearing Cancun Cruz has been wearing the Donald Trump knee pads every day since Donald Trump was elected. This was the same guy who said that Trump is unfit for office and he's a habitual liar. But as soon as all Ted Cruz cares about is remaining in power. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's going to change very, very soon. Ted Cruz is going to be outed from office, and this guy, Colin Allred, is a great guy, a good family man, a hardworking American, and boy, am I proud of him. And I sent him a private message this morning, and I said, man, you just kicked some butt. We've talked together on X. He said he appreciates what I do. This man did such a great job last night. He wiped the floor clean with Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz had that stupid smirk laugh. He was completely embarrassed last night and exposed. And for any of those idiots in Texas that have voted for that guy, shame on you.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And like I said, not since the governor of Pennsylvania have I seen anyone articulate facts as uniquely as Colin Allred. I was completely blown away. I have not seen the man speak, but I got to tell you that he's probably got a huge career in politics.
I was just going to say that.
Fingers crossed. Maybe we'll see him again soon.
I was just going to say that, my friend. Great call. I told him that. I think he has an unbelievable future ahead of him. What a great job he did last night on that debate stage. Holy smokes. Cruz is off to Cancun, ladies and gentlemen. Take your long vacation. Get the hell out. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Matt. Matt is next up on PTL. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Brian. I'm here. I'm kind of having a little, I wouldn't call it a breakdown. But one thing I'm just really afraid of for this election is that Trump, if he wins, would go after his political opponents for things that are very minute, tiny little financial things.
It gets worse, Matt. Matt, it gets worse. It's not just political opponents. He's also said he's going to go after CBS. He's going to jail journalists. He's going to use the military. He's going to go after, it's going to be an entire 4 years of retribution for, at least in his mind. So I agree with you, but it's not just politicians and political rivals. It's everyday regular people like me.
Yeah. And I mean, I just think that's bad. I mean, and also like my main question I had was, if you were a betting man, you know, I've seen all these polls where it shows Republicans +3 or like, especially Polymarket. I don't know how much stock to put into that, but if you were a betting man, which I don't know if you are or not,
I'd say yes.
If you had to put your money on it, who would you say is going to win?
Oh, that's a really good question.
If you had to put a house on it,
so I'm going to be honest with you, okay?
Right.
I wouldn't want to bet on it because right now I think it's a coin flip, but if I had to bet on it, I give Kamala Harris a slight edge. The reason why I give Kamala Harris an edge, and I don't care what the polls say, I'm not looking at the polls, I'm not going by the polls, is because I personally believe there are not many people who voted for Joe Biden in 2020 that are going to be voting for Trump. Now, there's certainly going to be some, but I don't think there's many. And I think there's more people that voted for Trump in 2020 that are going to be voting for Harris. I really do. There are plenty of moderate Republicans that I speak to that feel that way. So that's my personal opinion on that.
Yeah, I could see that. I just think if I were in bed with the Vegas mob and took out $40,000 from an ex-girlfriend, I would probably.
Well, okay. Well, $40,000 from the ex-girlfriend, I'll leave that one alone, my friend. For anybody that bets offshore, I would highly recommend not betting on the elections because I have no idea what's going to happen. That's my personal opinion. Now, my opinion could change in 3 weeks. All right. Who are we going to next? Let's go to Brad. Brad, who are we going to? We're not going to Brad. Okay, we're going to Jack. Jack, what's going on, man?
Yo, Brian, what's going on, man? Hey, let me see the dance. That's known. That's in the country western world. It's off of the two-step. That's called the jerkin two dicks. It's JERKIN.
I got you.
That's what it's called.
So who do you think? Who do you think would be standing next to him? Who are the two people if he did a dance in front of him?
I mean, it's obvious, man. It's going to be Vladimir Putin and Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're going to be the two. They're going to be the two.
That's the best. That's the best one I've gotten so far. I like that one. That's a good one. You got me on that one. What else is on your mind today?
I wanted to inform you of the newest item being offered by Trump. It's the Trump combat knife that was offered at the. I'm not sure who the combatant is with the Trump. It's like it wasn't called a buck knife. It wasn't called a fishing knife. This was the Trump combat knife being offered by his I don't know.
Did you see his crypto? Did you see it? Did you see his new crypto scam that he's doing now? He's doing the whole crypto scam thing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I watched the orange skid mark today on the Fox.
Yeah.
Whatever that fake town hall. They were supposed to be undecided people. I mean, it was like a cheering section.
It's a joke.
It's unbelievable. And they brought up the topic of IVF. Donald Trump says he's the father of IVF. He's the father of IVF, and you know he got a phone call from Katie Britt because judge had ruled IVF illegal in a certain town, and they were closing down all the clinics or whatever in that town. And he said, so she explained to me what IVF was. Now, this is a guy who just 20 seconds before that was claiming he's the father of IVF.
Right.
So he said, and in 2 minutes, I knew what it was, and everybody was in an uproar, you know, so I had to make a decision on that. Like, this guy, he just doesn't know anything.
He doesn't know he doesn't even know what a tariff is. When he talk about childcare, he doesn't even understand what that word means. He can't talk about policy. He's incapable of talking about even tariffs. He brings up other leaders in other countries yesterday when he's being asked about tariffs. And yet these are the same idiots, by the way, that are attacking Kamala Harris because she's not talking about policy, which, by the way, she is, by the way. And yet Donald Trump can't even speak about the most basic of things when it comes to the economy. You're absolutely right. It's absurd. All right, 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Maureen. Maureen is next up on PTL. What's going on, Maureen?
Hi, Brian.
Hi.
The dance partners that I would pick would be Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, those are probably two good ones. Yep. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice herself. Yep.
Yeah. You know what? It's like 40 minutes he was dancing around like a clown, and the idiots in the audience were cheering him on. What
Not
kind of
all
people
of
are
them.
these?
Not all of them. There were some people in the corner there on video rolling their eyes. There were some people that were leaving early. So I agree with you. There were some people that were cultists, no question, but there were a lot of people that were leaving early, and people are caught on video rolling their eyes when he starts dancing. That's supposed to be a town hall, and the Trump campaign are claiming it was nothing but love, and the reason why he did that is because a couple people fainted. We're supposed to believe all of a sudden the man has empathy. Well, then why are you dancing up on a stage, joking around, if you really cared about these people to begin with? I mean, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. You know what I was wondering? If he pooped himself.
Well, that could be possible. Some
Maybe
Trump.
that's why they were running out.
Some Trump diapers. If I had to design a Trump diaper, it'd be very big in the back and very small in the front. Thank you so much for your call. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Brad. Brad is next up on PTL. What's going on, Brad?
Hey, buddy. How are you doing, Brian?
Good, man. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Good. Absolutely. Well, no, I just want to tell you, I've been watching your show for, God, probably 5-6 months.
Oh,
dude, I think you are the most respectful human being out there, honestly.
Not all I appreciate the compliment, but I wouldn't say I'm always respectful. I call people out for what they are.
Well, no.
I mean that MAGA clown I had on yesterday. She was just the worst.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
You know, when I watch your show, and I get so freaking pissed off at these brainwashed just idiots.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just,
they're stupid.
Just that.
They're stupid. I mean, I don't know, he calls Kamala Harris stupid. Let's be honest. So many of his cult followers are very dumb people. They're very stupid. Do we still have him on? Did we lose him?
We are.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is truly a pleasure just to talk to you.
Oh, thank you.
Because, like, you are number one on my list. You're like my highlight of my day.
Well, that means a lot. I appreciate that.
And you're super awesome. But I do want to tell you, though, my mom passed away in 2020.
Oh, I'm
she
so
passed
sorry.
away in June of 2020.
So
Thank
sorry.
you, buddy.
Yeah.
And it was unexpected, but her last words to me, a week before she died, she says, "God dang it, Brad, I'm going to make sure that Trump never gets into office again." Look what happened in 2020. So honestly, Brian, every day I talk to her. I prayed to her. I talked to her every morning.
What was her name?
Betty Lou.
Let's do something, and I'm sorry for your loss. Let's do something for Betty, okay? Let's do it. We're going to make sure that Donald and your mother's wishes, and because of her son and people like you and me, we're going to get to the voter, the voter box, wherever you need to go to vote. We're gonna
buddy.
We're gonna be thinking about Betty, and we're gonna think about all these Americans in this country, some of whom sadly passed away from COVID, whatever the case may be, and we are gonna do this in their name. And the brave men and women and soldiers that have lost their life, we are going to defending our democracy, and we are going to be the true patriots, not the white supremacists and the Proud Boys and all these bastards that are going to be voting for Donald Trump because they're imbeciles. Okay, we're going to do it because of people like your mom, who sounds like she was a lovely, intelligent lady. And I promise you, you know what? I want you to call back after Kamala Harris wins, and we're going to talk more about your mom.
Oh, God,
okay?
Brian, no.
Right.
My dream is to meet you, buddy. My dream is to meet you because you and me connect on so many levels. You know, and I wish
that means
I know there's a lot out there. I wish more people would, but like you said, there's these brainwashed freaking idiots that.
Well, there's nothing we can do. Make him go away by going to the ballot box, my friend. And I'm sorry for the loss of your mom. It sounds like she was a wonderful lady. Let's vote for Betty and all the other Americans out there that maybe don't have a voice, maybe people that have been lost or for whatever reason. Let's vote in their name and let's get Donald Trump out of there and let him drive off into the bigot, obese, racist sunset. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Who are we going to next here? Let's go to Tricia. Tricia's next on PTL. Hey, Tricia, what's going on?
Well, thank you, Brian. I've called in several times. First of all, yes, let's vote. Let's go vote for Betty.
Yep.
Please, please, please. And I want to tell everyone, I've told every time I called in, please help contribute to your show so you could get the word out.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet. Thank you.
Yes. But I have some suggestions.
Sure.
No, number one, I think when I talk to other MAGA morons, they keep talking about the economy and whatever. And I think what needs to be brought forth and educated more, not only by you, but by the Kamala Harris campaign, is what happened, what got us in this position.
Yeah.
And I know you talk about it every once in a while about the G7 and the interest rate. That has to be pushed more and more every single day, every 10 minutes.
Okay, so I agree. Let me interject real quickly. I agree with what you are saying. Here's the problem. And yesterday was a perfect example. I don't know if you heard the show yesterday where I had a Trump surrogate on. And she said Trump had the lowest unemployment rate in our.
Yes, she was.
And now, obviously, that's a lie. The lowest unemployment rate in 50 years has been under the Biden administration. Here's the problem. You can't get through to these people. You can give them facts about the inflation numbers. You can give them facts about this country compared to where we're at compared to the other G7 countries. You could explain where we're at. It won't get through to these people because they are gone. Now, there are exceptions. There are a few people that have even called into this show, and we've had pleasant conversations, and they've switched their vote. So I'm not saying give up. All I'm saying is the overwhelming majority of these cult MAGA, whoever you want to call them, they cannot spell the word fact, and they're not smart enough to not only have a conversation, they can't even articulate at all with any reason why they're voting for Donald Trump. When you ask them to name a policy, they say Make America First policy. I said that's not a policy, that's a slogan. When they say, I don't like Kamala Harris because her policies are way too far to the left. Oh, really? Which policy? I don't know. They can't have a conversation because they're stupid. And I know Donald Trump wants to call Kamala Harris stupid. Brian, you shouldn't be calling people stupid. No, I am. The overwhelming majority of Donald Trump supporters are dumb, white, middle-aged idiots. That's what they are. I'm going to call it for what it is, and I don't care.
Okay, don't go yet because I have another suggestion.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
Are you there?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Okay. When you ask the MAGA morons, like if, what about him shooting someone on Fifth Avenue? And what about he said to John McCain? I want you to personalize it, Brian, and ask them, what if he shot your mother, your sister, or your wife? Make it more personal. And just even today, instead of disrespecting John McCain, what if it was your father? What if it was your brother?
But that's the way these people are. They don't think if it was them. That's the way some of these people are. Until it happens to them. Now, I like Jeff Duncan. He spoke on the DNC debate, or he spoke on the stage there, and I appreciate the fact that he's anti-Trump. His family was threatened because of Donald Trump. Stephanie Grisham had to deal with working in the White House and working for Melania Trump. But she supported Trump until she got a chance to get to know him, just like 40 other members of Donald Trump's former cabinet, including 5-star generals. They learn who this guy is. Isn't that important, though? The people that know Donald Trump best, and I'm not talking about Uday and Kusei, also known as Don Jr. and Eric Trump. I'm talking about people who worked for Donald Trump, not members of his family, even though there are some members of his family who can't stand him. Over 40 members of people that were working in Trump's cabinet are not supporting him. Some are supporting Kamala Harris, including his former vice president. Think about that. 702-221-7283. Mahan is next. Hello, Mahan. What's going on?
Hey, it's Mahan. Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, so we're talking specifically about Appalachia here, where I live. And we're talking about the ability to spread good information versus bad information.
Yeah.
I would love to hear what your thoughts are in regards to the literal conspiracy theories about FEMA and what is happening in Appalachian area, and what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah. So your phone cut out there a little bit at the end. Can you repeat that just so I have the entire question so I answer it properly?
Okay. Well, I mean, if it cut out, so then I can just share with you. Like, I literally just took 2 airtight mattresses to the Bristol Motor Speedway where NASCAR, like, Praise Hail, Raisdale, whatever shit is.
Yeah.
I live in Appalachia, and so, like, there's been so much chaos that's happened with misinformation in the area that I live in.
Absolutely.
And so I'm just curious to know, what you guys have been doing in regards to that.
Well, I can tell you
this.
this. Yeah, I get your question, and it's a good one. So just in regards to the hurricane alone, I've been talking about the misinformation that Donald Trump put out about communications between Joe Biden and Governor Kemp, which was a lie, the miscommunications about FEMA, or I shouldn't say miscommunications, the lies about FEMA. And then we have a nut in North Carolina who threatened some FEMA workers. And because of that, there was a stall to help some people in North Carolina. This is all in relation to Donald Trump lying. The lies about the 2020 election, make no mistake, it's why January 6th happened. The lies about the legal Haitian immigrants stealing your pets and eating them, it's why they got bomb threats, and it's why they've had over 50 threats in that city. All of these lies by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are the reasons why some of these events have happened. So what am I doing? All I can tell you is I go on the air every day and I try to call it out. I try to speak truth to the lies, and that's all I can do. I try to educate and let people know these are lies. This is what has happened because of those lies, and that's why we have to support Kamala Harris. Thank you for the call. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Jason. Jason is next on PTL. Hi, Jason.
Hey, how you doing? You ready?
Yeah, let's go. What do you got?
I'm giving you 3 talking points.
Okay.
First one, every Republican that since I've been alive has made this country worse. Ronald Reagan, crack and AIDS. He let that in. Then we go to George Bush Sr. Oh, I'm no new taxes. Liar. And then George Bush, W. Bush, Iraq War. What happens to all those 3 presidents? The Democrats had to come and clean behind it. Clinton gave us broke the deficit. And Obama cleaned up. And Biden cleaned up COVID. And so I want to give a shout out to my father-in-law, one of the greatest men I've ever met, who served in the National Guard, who died because of COVID. And Trump could have stopped COVID because he could have let those people that were in China stay in China. But because they were billionaires, he let them in. Because if you remember when the COVID first started, we only had 2 or 3 cases. But because he let all those people from China come back in because they had so much money, that's when COVID spread. But last but not least, and this is the one you're going to love the most, because Donald Trump likes porno stars, in the porno world, it's called double fisting. And so I'll say it is Brian Donald and Mr. and the boy that's running for South Carolina governor. Those 2 should be his 2, and have them spurt all over him. Have a good day.
Thanks. I just lost my appetite. Byron Donalds, and I believe he's talking about the guy Robinson, right? He's talking about that's a good one. That's an interesting one. I think is that the leader? No, I think the leader was Marjorie Taylor Greene and Vladimir Putin. But that's a close second. The 2 people on the side of Donald Trump when he does that weird dance, Byron Donalds and Robinson. Those are 2 good. That's a good one. That's a very close second so far. If anybody has any better ones, let me know. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Jesse. Jesse's next on PTL. Hi, Jesse. What's going on?
Yeah, Brian, I've got my 2, and then I want to say something else before I get cut off.
Sure.
And that is Mike Johnson and Putin.
That's a good one, too. Mike Johnson's a good name for that. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I've got one thing I want to say to all your callers. There's a documentary called SLICEFULL documentary. Go to YouTube and watch it. It shows just how corrupt and how much Trump had to do with Russia.
No, listen, if people don't believe, I'm sure it's a great documentary, but if people
It
don't,
is.
I'm
It
sure,
is.
no, I don't doubt that, sir. All I'm saying is if people don't think Donald Trump is in bed with Russia and Vladimir Putin, then they're idiots. Why would he send all those COVID cases to Vladimir Putin? And why is it he never says anything negative about Putin? And why is it he can't even admit that he wants Ukraine to win the war? I mean, come on.
He's guilty.
Of course
he's guilty
he is.
Of all.
Of course he is. But I'll check out that documentary, sir, and I do appreciate your phone call. Thank you so much. What did he say? Byron? No, did he give me two names? My Johnson. Oh, no, Mike. I thought you said my Johnson. Mike Johnson. Oh, okay. I misheard you. Sorry, no. I thought you said my Johnson. I'm sorry. 702. My apologies. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Kevin. Kevin is next on PTL. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, how are you?
What's up, Kevin? What's on your mind?
Oh, I got a lot of things on my mind. That town hall meeting when he went into when he played music for 30. First of all, this man has absolutely no rhythm at all. Nobody ever talks about this. He just has no rhythm. When you watch him, I guess they call it dancing, but those jerky movements when there's music playing,
right?
It's
very off-putting. And listen, the truth be told, I agree with you. Stormy Daniels said he had 14 seconds of horrible rhythm, so I agree with you.
Well, Brian, what you said, we were saying before, I hope anybody who might be listening who's on the fence, please listen to all these generals, all these high-ranking ex-generals, military men, high-ranking politicians that worked for him, on and on and on. They're not lying. They're warning us. And there's a lot of them.
Isn't it interesting? There is a lot of them. And don't you find it interesting, sir, that you have five-star generals, people that have put their life ahead of the country, all these people that worked for Donald Trump that have years and years of public service. And yet if you listen to a MAGA buffoon, they'll lead you to believe that they're all liars. All the judges, all the juries, our justice system, the elections, Republican secretaries of state, Republican governors, Republican mayors, staunch Republicans, former vice presidents like Dick Cheney. You couldn't find somebody more conservative than Liz Cheney. All these people are lying. People that worked within the administration, they're all liars. And then I have some idiot on social media today. I have plenty of those on social media who says, well, what about all the people that quit underneath Kamala Harris? Have any of them supported Donald Trump? Because a few interns might have quit their jobs. Can you tell me people that have actually worked with Kamala Harris for years that are openly supporting Donald Trump? Have they called Kamala Harris a threat to our democracy? Of course, the answer is no for you maggots that are on social media saying, what about the people that quit under Kamala Harris? Because a couple interns might have quit. You guys are dumb as a doornail. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Ron. Ron is next on PTL. What's up, Ron?
Hey, Brian. I listen to you every day. I love your show.
Oh, thanks, Ron. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a couple of things. One is my nominees are Uday and Kuday.
Also known as Eric and Donald Trump Jr. I like it. That's a good one.
Know,
I'm going to put that a close third.
I love that. I don't know how you came up with that, but
I come up with weird things in my sleep. I don't even know what to tell you, but okay, I like
love it. I love it. I remember that. The other thing is, your guest yesterday, I think the reason they don't answer the question is when they're not answering the question is an answer, because they wouldn't keep their job if they answered it.
You're right. You're right.
Basically it.
I think you hit the nail on the head. If J.D. Vance on the debate stage said Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, which obviously he did, I think there would be a 50-50 chance that Trump would fire him and put some.
Absolutely.
I think you're right. I think you're right. So, I mean, what can we do with these people? Sir, you make a great point there, my friend. You're right. If any of his surrogates actually told the truth, they would be fired the next day. Well, guess what? We need to fire him. And Americans need to tell the truth. And the truth is there are far more people that are anti-Trump than pro-Trump. They are the loud minority, okay? Make no mistake about it. They'll say they're the loud, they'll say they're the silent majority. No, they're not. They're the loud minority, even though they don't like minorities. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Bob. Bob is next on PTL. What's up, Bob?
What's up, Brian? I don't know if you remember me. I suggested a new nickname for Mr. Trump.
What's that?
Chief Sefayubi. Chief Sefayubi.
That's a good one.
Sad excuse for a human being. The other thing is no one spoke about Barron's disability, which is his father.
That's a good one.
And people to dance with him. Neither one would probably dance with him, but do you remember the Seinfeld episode with Elaine dancing?
I believe so. I love Seinfeld. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Well, she and Kamala Harris probably would be a good match for his dancing prowess.
Well, somebody needs to give him some dancing lessons, that's for sure. I appreciate the call, my friend. Thank you. 702-221-7283. I believe Chris is next. Hey, Chris, what's going on?
Hey, aloha, Brian. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, so first of all, I it's crunch time, less than a month to election day. I feel pretty good, because Georgia's early turnout in Georgia, over 300,000.
And I don't believe those are Trump.
Indicative. That's indicative that's Democrats.
I was just going to, Chris, I was just going to say that. I think this is indicative of Harris supporters. Let's not count our chickens yet. But
no, of course.
But I do agree with you. I do think that's a good sign for Kamala. I agree with you.
So I feel pretty good with this. You're all talking about, he's got that 44% locked up no matter what.
Yeah.
All the deplorables,
Sure.
But it's sad. It's just how people cannot see this guy, like you said, nobody's going to turn against him because if you're a legislator or, they're going to either primary you or, they're going to do something to get you out.
You're right.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not overconfident, Chris. Let me say this. I'm not and I know you're not either. I'm nervous. I'm never going to lie to my listeners. I never do. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. I make mistakes, but I'm always going to be honest with you. I'm genuine with what I say. I'm nervous. I still believe she's going to win. I think it's going to be very close, and I'm nervous. I'm just being honest with you. So let's do our due diligence. Let's all be a little nervous. I'm not going to tell you how to feel, but what I'm saying is do your part, vote. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Wayne. Hey, Wayne, what's going on, man?
How you doing, Brian?
Good.
Second-time caller. Love the show.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say, when Trump does that stupid little dance, that stems back from the 2020 election when he was embarrassed when he did that dance on stage. So his handlers, every time he does a stupid dance, he's supposed to be embarrassing the libs. You know what I mean? When he does that stupid little twitch with his arms.
What is that?
That's supposed to be, they're showing the libs that I don't care, blah, blah, blah. He's supposed to be handling the libs. It's an embarrassment.
That's it's really strange. Like he's only embarrassing himself. I mean, it looks like he's trying out for a male porn movie or something. Like I don't understand what this guy is doing. It's so strange.
Yeah, but he's owning the libs from that dance. That's how they turn things around and show the libs. Yeah, we don't care. We're proud.
Well, I got to tell you, sir, I think you're wrong. I think he's very sexy when he does this dance, and I think it's a huge turn on to so many women out there like Melania. When he does, it's very sexy, isn't it, sir? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I will stay away from those women. If I'm on a date and they talk about that, I'm going to pay the bill, and I'm immediately.
I'm sure if you asked Haba, she would say that it really gets her going when she watches Trump do that dance. Really gets her going.
I'm telling you, Haba is she wants a better husband, a more richer husband. She's getting herself out there. When she gets a multi-millionaire husband, she's going to dump her husband.
Probably right.
I think
Haba is Melania Trump 2.0. That's what I think. I really do feel that way. Thank you for the call, sir. Let's go to Carl. Carl's next. What's up, Carl?
Hey, buddy. Listen, for the two on each side of them, for the dancing, is one of his sons on one side, one of his sons on the other, and they'll have an cumulative IQ of approximately 60.
That's being very generous.
For all three. I'm being generous. Listen, real quick, at his town hall he just had for the 40 minutes of music, he just didn't want to have to answer any questions that was the main reason.
Oh, I agree. 150% I agree. When I saw that video for the first time, while it's very strange and weird, I said that's not because a couple people fainted at his stupid event. It's because he didn't want to answer questions because he's incapable. The man is, he's sick and his health is deteriorating. He's sick.
Yeah. One final point, slightly psychological, but the reason he likes to insult people and make fun of people and whatever, it's a psychological reason, is because he tries to relieve himself of his extreme inferiority complex. I've never seen a man with a bigger inferiority complex in my life.
If anybody can find me, you're right. If anybody can find, not that I want to see it, can anybody find me a picture of Donald Trump with his shirt off? Like Joe Biden, older guy, really good shape for his age. You see him on the beach, you see him with his shirt off. He doesn't care. Hanging out with his family, normal stuff, right? Nobody wants to see me with my shirt off, but I don't care. I'll take it off if I'm at the pool or if it's appropriate. I don't care. Because I'm not an insecure little moron like Donald Trump. Has anyone ever seen Donald Trump with his shirt off? I'm looking at a picture that somebody, oh boy, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all. Boy, what a manly physique. But like, when was the last time publicly he took his shirt off? I'm just wondering when that was. That's all. I'm just asking the question. Hey, programming note for all of you. So you heard the story at Coachella over the weekend where a guy was arrested with some illegal guns and some fake VIP Trump passes. The police sergeant out there claimed that his officers might have saved someone from assassinating the president. Well, that guy who allegedly was setting up a third assassination attempt, which, by the way, I never believed to be true. I've heard that he's now filing a lawsuit against that police department, and that man is going to be joining us on the show tomorrow. His name is Vem Miller. Starting the show tomorrow, the man who was accused by the police chief of an assassination attempt on Trump will be joining us on the show tomorrow, Vem Miller. So look forward to that. Also, as I say before, we're very proud of the new website, which is pushingthelimits.live. Again, that website is pushingthelimits.live. You go to the website. This is a independently owned radio show. What does that mean? We rely on great people like you to help support what we do. So you sign up for my YouTube page, which is at PTL Radio Show. Subscribe. That's completely free. We sell merchandise on our website, pushingthelimits.live. PTL hats, shirts, you name it. We sell it on there, and we appreciate your support. If you don't want to buy merchandise, that's cool. There's also an option to donate. There's a button right on that front page there of pushingthelimits.live. $5, $10, $20 a month, whatever you can afford. We greatly appreciate your support, whatever you can do. Again, that website is pushingthelimits.live. Subscribe to my YouTube page at PTL Radio Show. I'm on Twitter at PTL Radio Show is where you can interact with me. And I'm also quickly humbled to say that I'm at the Lakers game yesterday. I had multiple people come up to me, even in the media room, people who work for the Lakers say, hey, I love your YouTube page. I love what you do. I watch every day. I had some people that live here in Vegas that I was taking pictures with. I'm very humbled by that, and I appreciate all of you very much. And I'm going to keep doing what I do. So long as you keep listening and support what I do, I'm going to keep working hard for you. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Check out the website. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great day, everybody.
In these uncertain times, we need a leader who puts policy over politics.